स्यात् प्रतर्क्य विभवस्य महेश्वरस्य पादौ नमामि नयनामृतलक्ष्मणस्य देवस्य यस्य महता.
Suffused with the beauty and fragrance of devotion, these verses from the Guru Stuti are dedicated to the great master of Kashmir Shaivism, Ishwar Swarup Swami Lakshman Joo. Composed by Acharya Rameshwar Jha, a scholar of great reputation, this hymn echoes the sentiments of all those who have experienced Swami Lakshman Joo's grace and presence. Swamiji embodied in his person the splendor of the non-dualistic tradition of Kashmir Shaivism, a philosophy that goes back in mythological times to sage Durvasa and his mind-born sons. His lineage can be traced back to the great Shaiv masters who traversed the breathtakingly beautiful valley of Kashmir. Starting with Vasugupta, the seer to whom the Shiv Sutras were revealed in the 9th century at Shankarpal, to Somanand, Utpaldev and Lakshmangupta. From the likes of Abhinavgupta and Kshemaraj, to Yograj, Jairath and Shivopadhyay. And then, nearer our times, from Mankak Monga and Ramji to Mehtab Kak, and finally our revered Swami Lakshman Joo, the greatest exponent of this tradition in the 20th century. The legacy that the preceding masters bequeathed to Swamiji consisted of a worldview having its roots in the tantric vision of reality. Shaped by the great Abhinavgupta, this philosophical system rejects the otherness of God and perceives the ultimate reality in terms of a universal consciousness that vibrates in every atom of the universe. It is, in a sense, a life-affirmative philosophy that sees the world as a manifestation of the blissful energy of one all-pervading light. Not only does Shiva pervade everything, but is everything, from a blade of grass to Param Shiva. Many were the similarities Swamiji shared with Abhinavgupta, interpreting his thoughts to the modern world in a manner none had done before. Most importantly, he brought out Kashmir Shaivism from the confines of an ever-narrowing circle of the initiated few to humanity as a whole. The downtown locality of Namchibal, Srinagar, has undergone many changes over the last century, but it still retains its ambience and the old world charm. Even the house of Swamiji, now in the hands of a Muslim family, does not seem to have undergone much renovation. In fact, the room in which Swamiji was born on May 9, 1907 remains very much the same. One can well imagine the joy of a newborn child in a house. But Swami Ramjoo, a great Shaivite master and Lakshman's first guru, knew better. Apparently, dancing with joy, he sang these lines. What is surprising is that Swami Ram danced even though he had apparently lost the use of his legs to long hours of meditation. Even today, several old residents of the locality still fondly remember his parents, especially Pandit Narayan Das Raina for his philanthropy and entrepreneurship. Besides owning a lot of landed property and a carpet factory, it was Pandit Narayan Das who introduced houseboats in Kashmir for the first time. Coming to Swamiji's childhood, it soon became evident that Lakshman was a bit different. A precocious child, if one could call him that, with a marked inclination towards spirituality. At 3, he used to make shivlings out of clay. And at 5, he would sit in meditation and go into a trance, fainting every now and then.
After a few days, they carried me to their master, Swami Ram, for treatment. They thought that I was going in hysterical mood, hysteria, because I fainted every now and then, and afterwards.
You fainted constantly then after that experience?
Constantly, after I took meals,
you would
the meals were finished, I fainted.
I see.
I took tea, the meals were finished, the tea was finished, I fainted. I didn't know what was happening to me.
Lakshman's sacred thread ceremony was performed along with that of his brothers when he was about 9 years old. However, Lakshman's spiritual training had begun much earlier, under the guidance of his elder brother, Maheshwar Nath.
Söz gatan Ramciğiz yatka mara koy meka için boznuyor. Yemi seni bozna meka go. Dalasla hikaye ya haçımız bulan. Yana çunu mümkün değil belini çadarsın. Manın maçanarcız. Manas Ramciğiz. Dalas belini darsın çavunken. Yçevimiz puruzan muk. Dalas telegas mı marun muk. Dalas beyzan mı meli.
And once he fell sick, very sick, and my father asked my master to come down and to make him all right by grace. And he came down, my master, from his ashram, and he sat before him. He was on bed, lying on bed, and my master began to do his action. My brother told him, "Oh, don't do this, please. Don't make me all right. I only in case I find the real truth in my near future, then make me all right. Otherwise, there is no interest."
Pata ٲs یہِ وۄنۍ لانچ پیٚمٕژ اَتٮ۪تھ پَتہٕ گوٚو ماجہِ دوٚپنَس ژٕ کیٛازِ چھَکھ وَدان دوٚپنَس یہِ حظ چھُم ییٚتٮ۪تھ موٗدمُت دوٚپنَس سُہ چھی نہٕ یہِ چھی پاپ وَلہٕ بہٕ ہاوَے مٔشِد ٹوٹھ کَتہِ چھُ وَلہٕ برٛادَس پٮ۪ٹھ نیر مےٚ سۭتۍ بہٕ ہاوَے مٔشِد ٹوٹھ کَتہِ چھُ أمۍ دوٚپنَس ژٕ مہ وۄتھَے نہٕ تھوٚد سۄ ٲس وَدان بِچار دوٚپنَس یِم چھی پاپ سُہ چھی مٔشِد ٹوٹھ گوٚمُت بھگوانَس نِش.
His wish did come true. It was at the young age of 28 that Pandit Maheshwar Nath died. Just 45 days after his demise, Swami Ramjoo too passed away. The year was 1915. Swami Ramjoo's Mahasamadhi was a great loss to the Raina family and his followers in general. A great master in the theory and practice of Kashmir Shaivism, Swami Ramjoo's primary concern was the progress of Lakshman in his formative years. Today, his ashram at Fateh Kadal serves as a memorial to this great master of Shaivite philosophy.
School days में he would more attend to his own meditation and भगवान की याद उनको ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट में रखती थी उतना ध्यान स्टडीज़ में नहीं था उनका तो goal was different his program was different maybe it was just spending some time till he would slightly grow goal तो अलग ही रहा है ना लेकिन पढ़ाई में अच्छे थे which you can आप खुद देख सकते हैं कि कितना ही sea of knowledge किसी डिटेल में आप जाइए कोई सवाल पूछिए कोई जवाब सुनिए
یِتھَے کٔنۍ اوس گژھان دۄہَے سکوٗل سکوٗلَس منٛز اوس پرٛیم کَران لۄکچار پٮ۪ٹھ اوس یِتھُے سکوٗل اوس گژھان سُہ آسان پٲٹھۍ تَتہِ اوس ابیاس کَران تیوٗت لۄکُٹ اوس سُہ چَپرَس اوسُس کھۄنہِ کیٛاہ ژھانان دٮ۪دِ نِش.
Once, his teacher inflicted 25 cane strokes on him for singing bhajans in the class, but the move boomeranged as the teacher fell ill for the same number of days. Realizing that his interest lay elsewhere, Lakshman's parents started thinking about getting him married. But Lakshman would have none of it.
In my youth, they were planning to marry me. I said, no, I am not going to marry. I am married to God. I am married to bigger than the biggest. I am married to him. I want him to be with me. He is my husband. So I refused.
One day, when Lakshman heard his father recite a verse from Utpal Dev's Shiv Stotravali, he was so deeply moved that he insisted on someone translating it for him. The choice automatically fell on Swami Mehtab Kag, originally chosen by Swami Ramjoo for honing Lakshman's spiritual faculties after his demise.
Then they made their minds to ask Swami Mehtab Kag. She said, Swami Mehtab Kag won't come here to teach you because he does not move from his room. I said, I will go. Fix with him and I will go. Then my father went to him and requested him if Lakshman Joo wants to read that the songs of Utpal Deva with you, would you accept him as your disciple? He said, sure. Ask him to come to me.
And so began Lakshman's apprenticeship under Swami Mehtab Kag. After 2 years of intense practice, Swami Mehtab Kak took Lakshmanjoo to the nearby shrine of Mangaleshwar Bhairav, one of the 8 protected deities guarding Kashmir. It was here, surrounded by the sacred mulberry tree, dabbled with vermilion, that Lakshman's initiation happened. He was just 17. Interestingly, Lakshmanjoo proved so diligent in his yogic practices that he acquired what might have taken others years to accomplish in just a month. Thus began his new dilemma.
Then, after some time, I asked him, something came in my mind that I want to sit alone. I don't want to sit in householders. I asked him, will you ask my father to give me a small room separately. There is so land. On secluded corner of that land, he could construct a small room for me. I would meditate all the time.
Swami Mehtab Kak did meet Pandit Narayan Das with the request. But when 1 month passed and the promised room nowhere in sight, Lakshman Joo decided to heed his inner call. One morning, he quietly slipped away from his house with just a few clothes and some bedding.
Somebody says that broad liver, so anyway. So liver broad or what? Pani herki. And then a Scott Gassak. Then a Bagatay Mathab Kakastis. Chatpur. Then as we get then as Mr. and never came. बस मी कर्मच कामा छत्री हनाथस क्या ये चोला पहली बहुत ये support.
Yet even in his flight for spiritual attainment, Lakshman Joo couldn't bear to hurt his family. He wrote, "Dear brothers, I'm leaving for meditation. Kindly take care of our parents." The other letter addressed to his father read, "My dear father, I'm leaving in search of the Supreme. Please forgive me." Although Lakshman Joo had initially intended escaping to the forests of Sadhu Ganga, he had to break his journey in Sopore, where he was spotted.
Maximum side wada guy my third game side got Kakan report so Dinanath Patel. There was it catches Palan Light and it's much rather never. I got Sopore Chutati Katan. बस करुक बाद सोपोर जितो कसन ब्रोगस पतलोमुक सोपोर तैते का कसमाता माल गंज तमी was रोटमुत सुदर गंज तमी was रोटमुत तमी was घर न्यूमुत पत ये यम गया सारी रिश्तेदार गया सारी तैते ये थी बुचुक तमी तह काम छु बजाना उनको है मैं चुनको है मैं चाक पर विश्वर ये चुन दमलस में क्या कर दलस घास में कष्टक में आज मैं चुनको है मैं परमेश्वर में मैं चुनको है बस मैं भी फिल्म सारी करेस ध्यान रायस दे दमलस में कोट घास मैं जन अक्सर आदत रावत वो चिन्हरा वो थाली के वो Drai side thing kadet, but korun labikun, side the corner crow. Mind that they are tight. None as much as much got in Southern Island. Guys, Southern Island.
Lakshman Joo did return, but only at Swami Mehtab Kak and his mother's insistence, and that too to Chandpura, near the Guru's ashram. Although Chandpura today wears a deserted look since the outbreak of terrorism, It was here that Lakshman Joo finally immersed himself in his meditative practices. Today, the ancient Bhuvaneshwari temple and the once beautiful Ragna Devi temple are probably the only links to its once tranquil past. Somehow, the lure of Sadhu Ganga proved too strong for him, and this time he left for the place with the permission of his master. Perched on